So let me just very quickly go through how you would use the platform. So what I will do first of all is I will just remove everything here, all the indicators here. Okay, now what you see first of all is that I use what's called candlesticks, and if you want to change how it appears on the screen, you can click that gives you bars. You can click this, which gives you a line, and you can click this, which gives you candlesticks. I use candlesticks because I just find that candlesticks are the easiest way and the most efficient way to understand what's going on in the market. Now, what a candlestick does is it actually tells you the high and the low and the open and the close of what price was doing during that period of time. So here we have daily candlesticks. Okay, so this candlestick here, so if you just move this little mouse here and you just touch the top of the candle here where it closes here, it will give you the open, which you can see was 1.2883, the high, which was 1.2939, the low, which was 1.2880, and the close, which was 1.2901. Okay, so that's all it does. So a candle, you can see at a glance where it opened, where it closed, and it gives you a visual representation of what it did that day. Now, likewise, these are the time frames, these are the different time periods. So if you went on to a month, the monthly chart, the candle would give you the open, the close, the high and the low of what it did that month. If you went on to a 5-minute chart, the candle would give you the open, the close, the high and the low of what it did in the last 5 minutes. So here, for example, is the last 5-minute candle, and here you can see is the next 5-minute candle. So these are the different time frames, and these are candles. Now, if you want to color and actually create your chart, what you do is you right click, you click on properties, and then you can choose what your color scheme is. So let's say what I do here is I choose black on white. Then you can choose the color of your candles. I tend to choose blue going up and the down going red. Okay, and that's basically how I sort of set up my candles. So now, there's lots of different things. What I want to do is I want to give you what, in my opinion, is the most efficient way to trade. So I don't want to go over a lot of things that to me are just not relevant, okay, and that they don't work. I've been through myself in the past using lots and lots of what we call indicators. I'm going to show you what indicators are, but then I'm going to basically tell you to forget them. Okay, when I first started off trading, I spent, I suppose, maybe a year playing around with indicators. So if you actually click the insert, you'll see it says indicators, and it will give you stochastic, everything. Trend indicators, oscillator indicators, volume indicators, other indicators, and custom indicators. There's a couple of indicators I use, okay, but I use them as a guide. I don't use them really to, they are a help, but they are not a leader. Because, in fact, let me click one of the ones I use. This one is called an ADR indicator. What it does is it actually works out what the daily range was for the past 5 days, and it tells you what you should expect for today. So, for example, the ADR was 59 points, and today it's showing 93 points. Okay, so you can see when the ADR high and the low was hit, they formed these blue lines. Okay, so that can be useful, but it is just an indicator. It's not something to actually inform your trading. It's not a magic bullet. There's nothing like that. It just doesn't exist. Okay, so this is why I'm not going to spend a lot of time on indicators. So let me give you another indicator that I use and tell you how I use it. So another indicator I use is what's called a moving average. So I use a 10 period green moving average, and I use a 3 period red moving average. Okay, now the reason I use these is to get a visual representation of how fast price is moving. Okay, so for example, when you see this moving average, which is a 3 simple period, when you see that these candles are moving up very, very fast, that tells you that there's a lot of energy in the market. And when you trade, or at least in my systems, when you trade, I want to look for a lot of energy, a lot of directional energy in the market, because I want to trade in the direction of the market energy. Okay, so that's what I use these indicators for. So they're not a magic bullet. They don't I don't go for things like, which you might see on the internet, moving average crosses or anything like that, because a moving average cross is not, in my opinion, a reliable way to trade, because you can see here, for example, there's lots of crosses. Okay, so if you were just trying to trade lots of crosses, you'd be losing lots of money. So I don't use moving averages to trade in that way, but just to simply see how much energy is in the market. That's what I use indicators for.